I'll never forget that night. I was on my way home from a long Tuesday at the office when I received the terrible news. My father, the adventure-seeking missionary and world traveler, my personal hero, had died. As the reflections of passing streetlights streaked across the windshield, a wave of shock and disbelief flooded my mind, and I found myself struggling to come to terms with this sudden loss. Shortly after Dad's passing, I stumbled upon an item I had never seen before. My father's journal, from when he and my mother had been missionaries before I was born. He had written page after page about the great mission trips he and Mom had taken, grand adventures of touring the world, telling people about Jesus. When Mom passed from a sudden illness shortly after I was born, he moved back home and settled down to take care of me. Over the years, Dad had turned down many promotions and opportunities to climb the corporate ladder and make more money just so he could be at every baseball game, school play, and take me to church every Sunday. He had never complained about his lot in life, but as I read for the first time about my father's dashed dreams, I began to feel pangs of regret and sadness. I realized my dad had placed my needs and desires ahead of his own in order to provide for me after Mom's death. As I read, one note in particular stood out to me. Dad had written, "I may not have been able to fulfill my dreams of adventure and spreading the word of God to the far corners of the world, but I've been blessed with the greatest adventure of all, watching my son grow into a man and receive Jesus as his Savior." It was in that moment I truly understood his loving sacrifice. As I continued to read these words from my father's pen, I came across a page of scribbles toward the end of the journal. I couldn't believe what I was reading. It was a detailed plan my father had created for one last mission trip. He had aspirations of going on this adventure after I had grown up and settled down. In that moment, I knew what I needed to do. I had to fulfill my father's dream, to take up the mantle of this mission and spread the word of God to the far corners of the world, to every tribe, tongue, and nation. It was time for me to honor his sacrifice by completing his final adventure.
Thanks, Dad. I'm ready.
One year later, and I was on the mission field. It has been one exciting adventure after another, with many twists and turns, keeping me on the edge of my seat. And I'm thankful to God that I can live my life carrying on my mother and father's legacy and living out Jesus' words to tell the good news to people everywhere, in Jerusalem, throughout Judea, in Samaria, and to the ends of the earth.